Thank you so much for joining us today for a 60-minute Vinyasa flow. Today we are going to focus on core stability in our standing postures. So we're going to start in an extended child's pose. So just go ahead and come onto the shins, bring the knees wide, bring the toes to touch, and walk the hands forward. Get real active through the fingertips, rest the forehead down onto the mat. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, fill all the way up, let the belly fall between the legs, and then open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more, just like that. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. And start to settle into our Ujjayi breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Just take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. So we made it here onto our mat. We've got 60 minutes that are dedicated to our breath, to our body. And so just settle into this space, trying to let go of everything else, the morning that came before us, what we have to do afterwards, and just be fully present. Take one more breath here. And then bring the hips right over the knees, and we're gonna come into melting heart pose. So keep the hips over the knees as we walk the hands back forward like we're doing a child's pose. So this will get us a bigger stretch in the shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale. And then walk the hands back up under the shoulders. Let's take 3 cat-cows here. So inhaling, releasing belly toward the floor, lifting through crown of head and tailbone. Exhaling, rounding. Drawing tailbone down, lifting and separating shoulder blades. 2 more on your own. Really start to connect the breath to the movement, completing the length of the movement with the length of the breath. Come back to tabletop position. And let's take a twist here. So keeping the right hand on the floor, lift that left arm up, and then take that left arm, thread it behind the right, take left shoulder and left ear onto the mat, press into that right hand, maybe look up toward your shoulder or the ceiling or the sky. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, release, and we'll take it on the other side. Inhale the right arm high. Exhale, bring that right arm behind the left, come onto right shoulder and right ear. Keep the hips high, press into that left hand. Maybe take the gaze toward the left shoulder or the sky. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, release, right hand onto the floor. Bring the hands right underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high up and back for downward facing dog. Start to find some movement in downward facing dog. Finding nice strong hands pressing into the pads of the fingers, releasing the heels down toward the floor. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Release the head, so we're looking back toward our toes. Take 3 more breaths in downward facing dog. Inhale, complete this exhale, and then look toward the front of the mat and start to walk the feet forward. Come into ragdoll, drape the torso over the thighs, opposite hand to opposite elbow, let the head dangle, and then start to sway side to side, bending and straightening one leg at a time. And then come back towards center, release the hands down onto the earth, heel toe the feet out to the edge of the mat, take them at a slight angle. Take a soft bend to the knees, and then reach the arms off to the side, reaching through the fingertips flat back, crown of the head is reaching forward, shoulders are reaching back. On the next inhale, begin to straighten the legs and come all the way up to a stand. We're gonna connect the palms of the hands up over the crown of the head, and as we exhale, we're gonna sink into a squat. Bringing hands to heart center. Hold here. Sink a little bit lower. Flip the hands, reach them down toward the earth, and start to sweep them around in a circle and up toward the sky. Connect the palms of the hands up over the head. And this time we're gonna reach the arms off to the side, hinge at the hips and come down with a flat back to halfway. Palms are gonna flip to face the earth and they're straight out in capital T. Head is in line with the spine. Take one more full breath here. And as we exhale, we're just gonna gently release the arms and just flop down. Release the legs so they're nice and soft and just let your whole entire torso hang. Nice opening to the back of the neck. All right, and then start to fire up through the legs again. Reach the arms off to the side. Come all the way up. Connect the palms of the hands up over the head. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center into a squat. Flip the hands, sweep them down and up. And then as we exhale, hinge at the hips, come halfway down and flip the palms so they're facing the earth. On the next inhale, bring the hands over the crown of the head, connect the palms. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, nice engaged quads, and then gentle release, flop down. So we bend the legs, we let the torso dangle, the arms are nice and loose. Take one more breath here. And then sweep the arms off to the side, come all the way up, fire up through the legs, nice strong quads as we come up. Hands above the head, connect the palms, exhale, sink down. Flip those hands, sweep it up. We're gonna come all the way back up, and this time we're gonna sweep the arms off to the side, flip the palms, hinge at the hips, halfway down. Inhale, connect the palms above the head, and then exhale, gentle release. I'm just working on our spinal strength here and our core strength. On the next inhale, rise up. This will be our last time through. Fire up the legs, bring the hands above the head, exhale, sink down, flip those hands, sweep it up. Connect the palms of the hands above the head, and this time we sweep them off to the side. Flip the palms so they face the earth. On the next inhale, bring the arms up overhead, connect the palms of the hands, and gentle release, flop down. From here, heel toe your feet back towards center. We're gonna come into Uttanasana, forward fold. You're gonna take the peace fingers and wrap them around the big toes. Take the thumbs on top of the toenails, and then start to pull the elbows off to the side. So no tension in the neck, even though we're using the strength of our arms to deepen into our forward fold and to stretch our hamstrings. Make sure that those hips are right over the heels, so we're not leaning too far forward or too far back. One more breath, get a little bit deeper, stretching out those hamstrings. And then release the hands from the toes. You're gonna come up with a flat back, so reach your arms off to the side. Once we arrive at the top, start to come up onto the tippy toes. We're gonna bring our arms so they're a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart for palm tree pose. Palms face out. You have to find a nice drishti here, so keep your gaze really steady. Really fire up those legs, keep the heels nice and lifted. All right, inhale here. As we exhale, we're gonna swing our arms to the right. Keep high on those heels. Really challenging pose here, palm tree pose. We're just kind of swaying here back and forth. Come off to the left, really reach through those fingertips. Stay high on those heels, come back through center. We're gonna release the heels to the earth and then sweep the arms off to the side. Come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Find a flat back. Hands are either on the shins, the thighs, or the floor, fingertips reaching toward the floor, and then forward fold as we exhale. Plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Now lift that right foot off the floor. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Place the right foot on the floor. Lift the left foot off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Place the left foot on the floor. Bring your left hand a little bit closer to center and then reach that right arm straight forward. Good, for 3, 2, 1, and switch it out. Okay, we're just finding our core here for 3, 2, 1, and I think mine is found. All right, so shift forward, lower slowly down onto the mat. Bring your big toes and heels to touch, tops of the feet flat to the floor, and take your hands behind your back. For locust with chest expansion, start to lift your fists toward your heels, shoulders away from the ears. And then for this last breath, lift your feet off the floor, hold here, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, Tuck your toes under, press up, plank pose, and back to downward facing dog. Look forward toward the front of the mat, step walker float, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, come all the way up onto the tippy toes, palm tree pose, and exhale, sway to the right, and back through center. This is hard, and sway to the left. Wobbling is good. Fire up your core, come back through center, and then release your heels, come all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, plant your hands, step back plank pose. And this time, let's lower Chaturanga. So shift forward, come down, elbows stay in, 90 degrees if we can. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, bring knee to nose and step through, low lunge. Release that left knee down toward the floor. Both arms reach up overhead. Interlace the fingers, release the index finger for Arom Mudra. Squeeze biceps toward the ear. Okay, and we're gonna start to side bend to the right. Just stretch through your left side. Come back through center. Side bend to the left. Come back through center. Release the hands down onto the ground. Lift that left knee off the floor. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Right leg high, up and back. Open your hip, bend your leg. Let the foot hang heavy toward the floor. Lift that knee high up into the sky, and then square off your shoulders. So right shoulder stays in line with the left. Straighten your leg out, square off the hip, and place the foot on the floor for downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, and step through. Right away, release that right knee down onto the floor. Arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, release your index fingers for Arom Mudra. We're gonna side bend to the left. Just feel that nice stretch in the right side. Come back through center. Keep the core nice and strong, chest is lifted. Side bend to the right. Come back through center. Release the hands down onto the floor, lift that right knee. Try to do it without sliding. Take that left leg high up and back, three-legged dog, and then open the hip, bend the leg. Let that left foot hang toward the floor, lifting the left knee at the same time, and then squaring off left shoulder in line with right shoulder. Straighten out that leg, square off the hips, and release, downward facing dog. Lift both heels high, bring the knees to hover over the mat, hold here. Look toward the hands now. Come forward, plank pose. Lift your right foot off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Switch it out, left foot for 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're gonna do right foot and left hand at the same time for 3, 2, 1. Switch it out, right arm, left foot for 3, 2, 1, and Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Back to downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, step through low lunge. Release that left knee down onto the mat. Crescent moon, inhale, interlace fingers. Back bend. Look up, reach back. And then hands back to the earth. Standing split, step onto that right foot. Lift the left leg high. Look back toward the back of the mat. And then very lightly step back into low lunge. This time that knee is off the floor and we're gonna rise up, crescent lunge. Hold here, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Good, nice strong front leg. And get that back heel right over the back toes. Yes, good adjustment. Beautiful. Take one more breath in crescent lunge. And then exhale, open up to warrior 2. Nice long stance. Nice. Good. Shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Soft gaze out across those front fingertips. Keep your legs just as they are. Good. Stay low in your lunge. Good. Yeah, you're kind of leaning forward. Nice. On the next inhale, come into reverse triangle. So we're gonna straighten out that front leg. Left arm's gonna come down, the back leg, reach up and back, and then shift forward. Straight arms, hinge and reach, and then arms stay parallel to one another, and we're gonna come into triangle pose. Okay, so really bring your awareness to your core in this pose. And this looks great. So we don't wanna collapse into it. We wanna stay nice and tight and engaged. Lift it off the floor, head is in line with the spine. Looks really nice. Gaze is either at the floor, ceiling, or up toward the fingertips. Okay, start to reach that left arm forward toward the front of the mat. Palm is gonna face down, and then sweep that right arm to meet the left. Yeah, palms are facing each other. Perfect. Hopefully you feel this in your core. Now, as if you're holding a beach ball, very slowly lift that beach ball up overhead and adjust your feet so your palms or your toes are gonna face out. And then bring your hands to your heart, come down into a low squat. Bring your hands onto your knees, thumbs face in. We'll take the shoulder stretch. So look to the right, hold here for another breath. Come back through center, and then look to the left, right shoulder dips in. Stay low in the hips. Come back through center. We're gonna bring the hands to the heart or to the floor, and we're gonna take a side lunge to the back of the mat. Good, the right toes are gonna lift off the floor, and then we can have the hands at the heart if we wanna play around with our balance here. And then take the hands, if they're not on the floor, take the hands onto the floor and just walk back to a low lunge at the front of the mat. Good, three-legged dog, lift that right leg high, and then downward facing dog, exhale. Lift the heels to hover, lift the heels high and the knees to hover. Look forward, plank pose. All right, so right into it, right arm, left foot lift, extend for 3, 2, 1, and switch it out. Left arm, right leg for 3, 2, 1, Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, so let's take that on the other side now. Left leg lifts, left knee to nose. Step through, low lunge, right knee right to the floor. Both arms up overhead. This time we take the back bend. So Arom Mudra above the head. Start to hinge back, lift the gaze. Big stretch in your right hip. And release. Hands to the floor. Little momentum here all the way to standing splits. One more breath here, all 5 toes pointing toward the floor, hips are in one line, and then very lightly step back, preparing for crescent lunge. So nice long stance. Make sure that left knee is right over the left ankle. Both arms reach up overhead. We spiral those pinky fingers in. Good, really nice. Yep, we're drawing that tailbone down and then working that leg straight. So it's nice and active. Then pulling that left hip back, right hip forward. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, warrior 2. Sink into that front leg, lower the shoulders away from the ears. Then get really active, pulling that left knee open. Really nice, really nice. Yep, so we open here and then counter. Yes. Really nice, looks good. All right, so reverse triangle. We're gonna straighten through the left leg, come all the way up and back. Really reach, stretch through this left side, and then reach that left hand forward. Hinge, 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 reach, reach, reach. Arms stay parallel to one another, and we just bring them to 6 and 12 on the clock. Stay lifted, not collapsing into our triangle. Good, alignment looks really nice here. You can even come down a little bit further. Yes, good, 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 good. Okay, so start to extend the top arm up overhead. And then bring the bottom hand, palms face each other. But stay open in the torso, okay? So instead of looking down, we still wanna look to the side. Tight, tight, tight core. Take your beach ball, come all the way up. Good. Toes point out, take your hands back to your heart, sink down. Hold here. Okay, now from here, we're gonna bring the heels behind the toes. We're gonna hinge forward so our chest is parallel to the floor. Fire up the quads, nice strong legs to protect the hamstrings, and then take the arms and reach them off to the side. Good, so working core and spine strength here. Hold. Bring your hands back to your heart, and we're gonna side lunge to the back of the mat. So onto the right leg, left toes can lift off the floor. Just a nice stretch here in the left inner thigh. Good, nice stretch in the hip. Maybe play with your balance, taking the hands off of the mat. If the hands are off of the mat, we're gonna place them back on the mat, and then we're gonna just walk ourselves forward, low lunge. Good, without dragging. Left leg is gonna come high up and back, and release, downward facing dog. Lift the heels high, bring the knees to hover, shift forward to plank, and right arm, left leg. 3, 2, 1, switch it out. Left arm, right leg for 3, 2, 1. Shift forward, Chaturanga. Good, so really working on that core stability, holding these poses, pulling the abdomen tight, staying balanced. All right, so let's take the right leg high. Right knee to nose, step through, low lunge. This time we go straight up to crescent lunge. We'll just do a little bit of flowing here. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse triangle. So we straighten that right leg, left arm up and back. Exhale, triangle. Okay, now we're just gonna flow this 2 times. So use your core, keep your arms as they are. Inhale, reverse triangle, kind of like you're a TikTok, and then triangle. Now keep left hand traveling forward, 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 forward. Right arm meets the left. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Rise up, 5-pointed star. Prayer squat. 5-pointed star. All right, so we're gonna take our feet, face them, and just shorten your stance a little bit. Face them toward the front of the mat. Slight angle in the back foot. We're gonna take pyramid pose. You have 2 options. You can have the hands on the floor for support, or you can challenge your balance a little bit. Take your hands behind. You either hook the wrists, the elbows, or you can take reverse prayer for the shoulder stretch. Okay, and from here, we're gonna square the hips and the shoulders. We're gonna start to hinge forward. With a flat back, hold halfway down. Hold, hold, hold. Looking straight down at the mat so the head stays in line with the spine. The neck is nice and long. And then we can start to hinge over that front leg. Now, once again, we can release the hands and place them on the floor to assist us in our balance. Front knee can be nice and soft. It can be as bent as needed. Just kind of working that hamstring length, and then draw that right hip back and left hip forward. Take 1 more breath in pyramid pose. Good, now come halfway up again and extend your arms off to the side, working that spinal strength. Now we're gonna take the left hand to the floor, right hand toward the ceiling. So this is revolved Trikonasana, Parivrita Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. Again, really good core strengthener and stabilizer, because we need to use our core to take that twist deeper. So we're squeezing the abdominal muscles, twisting, twisting, twisting. Spine is nice and long, just twisting. Okay, and then release. Right hand to the mat. Good. 3-legged dog. High up and back. Downward facing dog. Lift both heels high. Knees to hover. Shift forward plank. Right arm, left leg for 3, 2, 1. Switch it out. Left arm. 3, 2, 1. And Chaturanga. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Downward facing dog on the exhale. Let's take our flow on the other side. Left leg high. Low lunge. We're going right up to crescent. Inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Reverse triangle, inhale, straighten that leg all the way up and back. Triangle, exhale, and let's flow. Use your core to lift you. Should feel it in your core. Okay, so no momentum. And then bring that right arm all the way forward. Left arm reaches forward. 3, 2, 1, rise up. 5-pointed star. Bring your hands to your heart. Sink into your squat. Hold here. Rise up, 5-pointed star. And let's prepare for pyramid pose. So you're gonna pivot your feet toward the front of your mat and shorten your stance so the hips can square. That back foot is gonna come in at an angle. You can take the same or a different arm variation on this side. Okay, so square the hips and shoulders to the front first. Yes, very good. And then hinge forward, come halfway down in whatever arm variation you're at. Hands can be at heart center as an option. Hold here, building strength in our core and our spine, shoulders away from the ears, and then forward fold over the left leg. Keep your legs nice and active and continue to draw that left hip back, right hip forward. So 2 hips are in one line. Head is relaxed, so there's no tension in the neck. Just looking back toward the back of the mat. Knee can be as bent as needed. You want to feel a stretch in your hamstring, but no strain. If the hands aren't on the floor and it feels like too much strain, place your hands on the floor. All right, wherever we are, let's all come back halfway up and extend the arms to the side. So working that core strength, working the spinal strength. Hold here, and then we're gonna release that right hand to the floor. Left hand comes up. Good. So revolved triangle pose, place that back heel on the floor at an angle. So this foot, yes, there you go. Good. There you go. Really nice. Good. Take one more breath in revolved triangle. And place that hand back on the floor. Plant your hands, 3-legged dog. Bring it all the way up and back. And release, foot to the floor, downward facing dog. Heels lift, knees hover, plank pose, right arm, left leg for 3, 2, 1. Switch it out, left arm, right leg for 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. All right, we're gonna flow one more time and then we'll take a break. So right leg lifts. Low lunge. Crescent. Inhale. Warrior 2, exhale, breath to movement here. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten that front leg. Exhale, triangle. Left hand travels forward, right arm reaches left. Rise up, 5-pointed star. Prayer squat, sink down. 5-pointed star, rise back up. Warrior 2, exhale. This time stay low in the lunge, reverse warrior, inhale. Low lunge, exhale, and then option for ekapada chaturanga. So we just take that right foot back, keep it lifted. Yes, very nice. Lower down, up dog, beautiful. Down dog, right to the other side. Left leg, inhale, low lunge, exhale, crescent, inhale, warrior 2, exhale, reverse triangle, inhale, triangle, exhale, right hand travels forward. Left arm reaches right. Rise up, use your core. Sink down, prayer squat. 5-pointed star, inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Stay low in your lunge. Reverse warrior, inhale. Low lunge, exhale. Ekapada chaturanga option. Left foot stays lifted. Shift forward, lower down. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Good. Come down for a rest, a drink, a child's pose, whatever you want. Take a few breaths here. Okay. We're gonna do just straight up belly up core now. We've done a lot of core, lots of different core variations in our standing postures. So we're just gonna work on core strength right now. So when you're ready, come down onto the back. Interlace your hands behind your head and bring your right knee in, left leg extends, left elbow to right knee. Hold here. Very slowly switch it out. Right elbow to left knee. Maybe we can even make contact. Hold here. Okay, now switch. Keep the pace kind of slow, nice and controlled. You have the option to even scissor kick the legs. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hug the knees into the chest. Take your legs into butterfly legs. Soles of the feet connect. Now you have the option of resting the feet on the floor, or feet can hover. If the feet hover, press the soles of the feet together, and then we're gonna just lift. Hands between the legs. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. See if you can get your entire shoulder blade off the floor. So we're really reaching toward the front of our mat, past our toes. And this is 3, 2, 1, hug the knees into the chest. And from here, we're gonna take eagle legs. So plant your left leg on the floor and wrap your right leg up and around your left, maybe hooking the toes around the ankle. It's okay if they're not hooked. Take your right arm, wrap it underneath your left. Bring the palms of the hands to touch. All right, so we're gonna do eagle later. So this is eagle on the floor, nice and stable. We're gonna bring elbows and knees to connect. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, and then just lift and lower. And this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unwind. Just stretch it out real quick. And then let's take it on the other side. So left leg is gonna wrap around the right, maybe hook the foot around the ankle. Left arm underneath the right, connect the palms of the hands, and bring elbows and knees to touch. And hold here for 3, 2, 1, and lift and lower. And this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch it out. All right, and let's just roll through, coming into forearm plank. Last push for our core here in this little series. Hold steady. Arms are parallel to one another, fingers are spread wide, gaze is on the floor, head is an extension of the spine. Lift that right foot off the floor for 3, 2, 1, and left foot for 3, 2, 1. Release your hips to the floor. Let's take Sphinx pose. So just stretching through the chest, stretching through the core. So feel that stretch as we press the belly button down, chest forward, shoulders down. Hold here. And then we'll just take lazy Sphinx. So let the shoulders come by the ears and chin to the chest. So you should feel really nice stretch in your neck and upper back. And if it's okay for your neck, just gently rock side to side. Come back up into a proud Sphinx. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Press that chest forward. Good. And let's come back to downward facing dog. Reconnect to that smooth, steady Ujjayi breath. Let's take the right leg high. Step through to low lunge. Crescent lunge, inhale. Let's take it to airplane pose. Step onto that right foot, adding in some balance here. So lift the chest, fingers point back, triceps engaged, left toes pointing down. Slowly come through. Lift your arms up overhead. We're gonna go right into eagle. So you're gonna take that left leg, wrap it around the right. Right arm is gonna wrap underneath the left. Nice and slow. Get the hips and shoulders to point toward the front of the mat. Sink those hips down. Squeeze the elbows down and in, or up and out, depending on which stretch you prefer for your upper back and shoulders. Hold here. Nice steady gaze. Nothing to do here except focus on the breath, keep the mind steady, and then very slowly unwind into eagle armed airplane. So sweep that left leg back, arms stay in eagle. Good, and we're gonna start to release the elbows toward the knee, head coming down, and then slowly unwind the arms and reach them around the right ankle. Feel that right leg working. And then take the hands to the floor, step back plank, low lunge, and then Ekapada Chaturanga option. So you can take that right leg, extend it back, lower down, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. All right, left leg lifts, low lunge, step through, rise up, crescent lunge, and then right into airplane pose. Sweep the arms back, lift the chest, squeeze the triceps, and the fingers are reaching toward that right heel. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears, and then very slowly come through. So we're gonna reach up overhead, just find this extension first, and then we're gonna wrap everything tight. So take that right leg around the left, and the left arm underneath the right. Good, nice focus, nice balance, sink down, and then feel the different stretches. Take the one of your preference, elbows down and in, stretching tops of the shoulders, or elbows out and up, stretching through upper back. Try to keep the breath as steady as possible. Good, really nice balance. Okay, eagle armed airplane. Extend that right leg long. Your forearms are parallel to the floor. Two hips in one line, toes pointing down, shoulders away from ears. Gaze is steady on the floor. And then start to drop the elbows toward the knees, coming forward. Unwind the arms, place the hands around the ankle maybe. Of course, option to always put the hands on the floor for more support. Lightly step back into low lunge, plant those hands on the floor. Ekapada Chaturanga. Left foot stays lifted, shift forward, come down, upward facing dog, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. All right, heels lift, knees hover, come forward plank, cross that right ankle over the left. Good, come into a Chaturanga variation and then press it back up. Good, right leg high, down dog. Heels lift, knees hover, plank pose, wrap that left ankle around the right. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your inner thighs. Shift forward, Chaturanga variation. Press it back up. Three-legged dog, lift. Downward facing dog, lower. Come down onto the shins. Bring the hips over the heels for Ustrasana camel pose. Hands come to low back. Elbows reach back and in. Start to press the hips forward. Lift through the chest. Gaze up. Stay here or bring hands toward the heels. Slowly come up. Rest hands on the thighs. Sit back down onto the heels. Close your eyes. Inhale. Let it go through the mouth. Okay, so come back up onto the shins. We're gonna take side plank variation. So just turn sideways on your mat. Bring your left leg out to the back of your mat. Good, hand to the floor. Get that right hip right over the right knee. Lift that left arm up, and then option to lift that left leg up. Okay, so here we're focusing on still core. Core is engaged. Focus on your oblique right here along the side of your body, working to lift your leg a little bit higher. Obviously, you're gonna feel it in the hip and the glute as well. And then from here, let's take a core stretch, quad stretch. Bend that left leg, take your foot from the outside, and start to press your foot out and back as opposed to up, back. And then option, if you have a healthy neck and it feels good, release your ear to the shoulder, maybe look up. A little challenging on the balance. But yeah, head can be just nice and relaxed. Should feel like a beautiful stretch in your left neck, left side of your neck. Good, extend back into your modified side plank, and then just come back onto your knees. And then we'll switch it out. So you're gonna come onto your left shin, extend that right leg to the back of the mat. Left hand is gonna come to the floor and right arm is gonna reach up. You can keep your right foot on the floor, or you can lift your right foot off the floor. Okay, feel your oblique and your core, your oblique nice and engaged. Hip and glute working to keep that leg lifted. And then we're gonna take the core stretch and the quad stretch. So bend that right foot, right leg, take your foot from the outside and start to press the foot back. Maybe releasing left ear toward the left shoulder. And extend, come back into tabletop position. Good, we're gonna take a counter pose for our camel. So bring the hips to the heels. For rabbit pose, we're gonna take the hands toward the heels and we're gonna start to roll down. So chin's gonna come to chest, shoulders are gonna roll forward. We're gonna bring the forehead toward the knees, crown of the head toward the floor, and then lift the hips. Press them up and forward. Nice grip on the heels, little weight in the crown of the head. And release, slowly roll down, come all the way up. Good, and let's make our way onto our stomach. Do a couple more spine strengtheners here. Bring that feet out to mat distance apart, arms off to the side, and let's lift everything off the floor. Good, press through the balls of the feet. Okay, from here, bring the palms so they face each other, feet so they touch. Hold here. Extend wide. And bring them together. Last time, extend wide. Bring them together. Extend wide and release. Rest. All right, let's press back to child's pose. Just stretch out your back, hips to heels, walk the hands forward. One more breath here. Good, walk your hands up. Let's take some seated stretches. So come toward the center of your mat so you can come into a straddle, seated straddle split. Good. So the key in this posture is that the quads are active and that the toes are pointing up. So try to be mindful that the toes don't flop in like this, okay? Sit up nice and tall. We can use the hands behind our hips for support so we have a nice long spine. If the inner thighs start to open up and they're feeling flexible, you can slowly walk the hands forward onto the ground. Just as we come forward, no matter how far we go, try to keep the legs engaged the whole time with those toes pointing up. Good, alignment looks really nice. Three more breaths. See if we can take it a little bit deeper. Use the breath to open the body. All right, wherever we are, slowly start to walk the hands back. We're gonna keep the right leg extended. If you want, you can bring it a little bit further in and bring that left leg so the left foot comes to the right inner thigh. We're actually gonna take a side stretch and a twist here. So we're gonna turn to face our left knee and take the right hand to the left knee. Good. And then we're gonna reach the left arm up and over toward the right foot. Okay, so we have a couple of options here. We can have this grip on the knee, or we can take the right forearm down onto the floor if that feels more supportive. Or you can extend the right forearm toward the right foot and take a hold of the foot. So all of these are great options for the side stretch. Whatever feels most accessible, but also with a bit of a challenge in the stretch. And slowly release, and we'll switch sides. So bring that left leg out to an angle, right foot to left inner thigh. We're gonna face the right knee first. Take the left hand to the right knee and start to reach that right arm up and over toward the toes. Okay, so you can stay here with a grip on the knee. You can take your forearm to the floor. You can take the left hand, palm face up toward the left foot, and reach the right arm up and over. Any of those are options. You just wanna feel a stretch in your right side. So that right arm is coming up and over. Okay, release from the side bend. And we're gonna take the left foot, keep the right leg just as it is, bring it up and over. For half lord of the fishes, we're gonna take a seated twist. Good. Work that left sitting bone down onto the floor so we're not sitting on the, move that heel out of the way, perfect. Sit up nice and tall. Left hand is gonna come behind the left hip, right arm up and over. Right elbow hooks to the outside of the left knee. Okay, option here, always to take a bind if you want half or full, but wherever we are in the twist, we want to keep the shoulders directly over the hips so we don't lean forward or backward. All right, let's release. And we're gonna switch sides. So you're gonna bring your left leg to the floor. Right foot is gonna come up and over that left knee. Yep, perfect. It's like a puzzle. Okay, right hand behind the right hip, left elbow to left knee, twisting from the base of the spine, looking out over the shoulder. Option to take a half bind, taking that right hand off the floor, and take a full bind, wrapping that left hand underneath the left thigh. Keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. Yes, good. And the gaze will just follow the twist. So you can even look past your shoulder. Okay, release, unwind, and then just face the front of the mat and bring your legs, your feet to butterfly. So soles of the feet are gonna connect. Draw the hips toward the heels, heels toward the hips, sit up nice and straight, good. And then option to forward fold, hinging with a flat spine. Pressing those knees down toward the earth. Nice big stretch for the inner thighs. Release. Good. Feet flat to the floor, lower down. Last little core stabilizer here, using our strength to control our movement, continuing to engage the core the entire way down onto our back. Right through till the shoulders release. And then we're gonna just stretch our core here. So coming into bridge pose, pull the heels in toward the hips, lift the hips off the floor, maybe interlace hands underneath the hips, roll onto the shoulders. Last inhale, and exhale, slowly lower down. Extend the left leg long on the mat, draw that right knee into the chest, give your knee a nice tight squeeze, compressing your hip, and then draw the knee through the center to the left. Extend that right arm to the right. And coming back through center, extend that right leg long. Left knee into the chest, give your knee a tight squeeze, compress your hip, and then draw the knee through center to the right. Come back through center. This time we hug both knees into the chest. Any final poses, stretches, movements that we want before Shavasana, take them now. And when you're ready, Shavasana is available. So for these final moments, come back to the intention you set at the beginning of class. Come back to this present moment, this time that you took for yourself to come onto your mat, to connect to your breath, to connect to your body, to find balance and stability and strength. Start to find movement here, wiggling fingers and toes. Rolling wrists and ankles. Reaching the arms up overhead. Big breath in. And rolling onto the side. Pulling the knees into the chest. Cradling the head in the arm. Acknowledge your practice. Find gratitude for this time and this space. Set an intention now for the rest of the day. And slowly come up to a seat. Bringing hands toward heart center. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.